Hello, Masters. So you saw the title of this video, and presumably some of you looked at that and you were like, what? You can do that? Now, yes, you can do that, but what I'm talking about is not like shape shifting or any weird shit like that. One of the things that I often talk about on here is something called the divine paradox, which is where, yeah, there's this magical principle. It's not technically, it's not magic. There's a scientific basis for it. And physics is always talking about this. They don't really talk about that on TV, but there's all these physicists talking about how we think the universe is mind, the universe is mental, and we are participants. If you know that you are, anyway, if you realize you're a participant, right? Well, anyway, um, so we get that there's this force that you can use to cause all kinds of cool shit to happen, but you can't just like completely ignore 3D reality either. Because if you go jump in front of a car, okay, there's still that, right? There's still that. Eckhart Tolle has talked about this. He said, look, guys, I'm 70 something years old. I'm not going to go win a gold medal sprinting in the Olympics. It's not going to happen. Now there's a lot of cool shit that I can do. However, so that's what Eckhart Tolle had to say about it. Now, beyond the obvious misnomer that you could like change your face, I guess you could manifest some money and go get plastic surgery. I guess you could do that. But what I'm talking about, excuse me, what I'm talking about is like reversing the aging process. Getting hair to grow back is another thing I've seen people do. My employee did that, by the way. I've got a friend who had a huge blood clot in his leg. It went all the way from his ankle up to his thigh, which is like really serious. It's a very serious thing, very life-threatening thing. And it took like 20 years for him to heal it. And I convinced him to just use law of attraction, and it worked. It worked. It worked. I'm not a doctor. Go see a doctor too. He was going to the doctor too. Like that's the other thing. Again, is for something like that, you need to see a doctor and do the fucking magic, right? That's the winning combination right there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be magical and pragmatic about all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, my employee, she fucking grew her hair back, dude. Unbelievable. And me, I don't really care. I guess I could get that to happen, but I just shave it. I like looking bald. I'm actually going to get my head shaved and my beard trimmed tonight. So it's a little long, but I like it bald, so I don't really care. But I've gotten some of this gray to go away. I used to have more gray. You can do some cool shit, guys. Lose weight. Um, you might get the shape of your face to change a little bit. Like if you want, like if you're if you're a guy and you want like better luck with the ladies, you might want some of those more masculine traits like that protruded jaw. I'm serious. You can do this. You can do this stuff. You can make these subtle changes. Again, you're not going to shape shift, but you can do some of this stuff, you guys. And there's even, again, extreme examples. Um, you could find, and I know how this sounds, but you could find, for example, the money and the person that's going to be able to do some like moderate surgery. There's like moderate things that you can get done. And I'm all for that. I think that's fine. If you want to do that, if you don't like that, that's fine. Some people do, some people don't. But you'd be surprised at the myriad of ways that these experiences can come to you, either through some natural internal process in your body or external augmentations. And this could also be things like getting a new wardrobe, having some kind of a new style, finding the right thing. There's a million different things that affect our appearance, right? So I just kind of wanted to have this broad conversation about all of the possibilities. Now, how do you do it? Same thing that you always do, guys. Same thing you always do, right? Law of attraction. Oh man. Once you find the secret code, it's so easy, dude. And you can attract anything. I just did a video Friday talking about how to manifest a text message from somebody. You should go watch that video because most of the video I did a lot of setup where I was like, guys, this is real if you know how to use it. And you you have to you have to make the goal to be getting to master level. Like man, that's why this YouTube channel is called Law of Attraction Masters. And again, this YouTube channel is new, but I'm on other platforms. I've coached over 7,000 spiritual coaching students. This is just kind of my new project. And I've seen it a million times, guys. This works, but you have to make the goal becoming a manifesting master for this to work. And then you can manifest anything you want. Like manifesting a text message from somebody, that's child's play. Or changing your appearance, it's really not as hard as it sounds. You know, one thing that you might be up against is, well, for example, guys, I did this actually. I wanted to be more muscular, and I've made a lot of progress doing that. I wanted to lose a little bit of belly fat and build some muscle. And I've been at it for 2 years, and I've changed my appearance a lot. But my problem was like I didn't want to do those things because you have to, if you want to lose weight, it helps if you do the magic and the practical stuff. That's the way all this stuff works, right? So I started with, all right, I have to want to eat differently and I have to want to get in the gym. And that was my problem. That's everybody's problem. Like, how do you find the will to do it? And I said, I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with cultivating will and get myself to the point where I actually want to do it. And it worked. And then I started eating different. I cut out all the processed carbs, all the junk food, all the sugar. That's all gone. I feel terrific, by the way. And I've got a gym in my basement and I work out twice a day. And it worked. It worked. Well, how did I do it? By believing that I could change. By believing that I could actually want that. Right? So again, for you to be able to do that, for you to be able to like change your internal space, because again, most people, they'll do whatever is necessary. Like, I don't think most of you have a problem with the idea that you're going to have to eat different things and get into the gym. For example, depending on your goals. I mean, maybe that's not part of your goal, but if it is, right? But the problem is we don't want to do it. Right? Well, how do I change that? Because if I could change that, I would do it. So that's what I did. And it fucking worked. It fucking worked. So, number one, you got to make being a manifesting master the goal. Always make that the goal. Because if you do that, then changing how you feel is child's play, right? This is what I tell my coaching students. I tell them, make turning this art of manifesting where it's always your habit. Make that the goal. Like you just do it. It's like walking, right? It's like breathing. You're just always doing it. You're throughout the day, you're always like monitoring your thoughts, monitoring your emotions, feeling different emotions, causing different internal experiences, and you just do it out of habit. You don't have to think about it anymore. You just do it. You know what I mean? Make that the goal. Getting yourself to that point. Okay? Make mastery the goal. So that's going on. You could be working on that, but then also to change your appearance. Again, a lot of this is motivation, you guys. You just have to get the gumption to do it. Your body can change in ways that'll amaze you, and you'll attract people, resources, and opportunities to you, information. I part of my journey was like trying to figure out exactly what foods to eat, right? And I don't know, I got to tell you guys, I'm a code breaker. I always crack the code. I always crack the fucking code. Um some people can do that. I don't know. I'm a truth seeker. And it seemed very obvious to me. And then before you know it, there's all of these resources pouring in and information pouring in. And it was better than I expected. It was something I actually wanted to do. So I just focused on creating an emotion of motivation. Remember, again, what did Neville Goddard say? Feeling is the secret. And it's actually the number two secret because the number one secret is consciousness, right? And I talked about this in Friday's video, how consciousness is fundamental here. So your daily spiritual practice, and I mean spiritual, not what the internet says is spiritual, but actual legit like Zen spiritualism, like meditation and increasing your consciousness. And you don't think your way there. You can't think your way into that. In fact, thinking is what's blocking you. And the harder you think and feel about it, the less you're going to experience consciousness. Oh, and I got just the thing. I got a playlist. I got all kinds of cool shit on this channel, guys. I got all these free resources. There's a playlist down below. Uh, did I want to link anything else? No, I don't think so. I'll tell you what. I'm going to link the playlist down below. It's called The Basics of Manifesting. Watch at least the first two videos because that's like to get you going, right? I'm also going to link Friday's video because you just got to see it. You got to see it, guys. It is such a cool time to be alive. There's all these scientists coming out, again, saying we live in it's like a video game simulation, and your body is the joystick. Your body is the video game controller. How cool is that? And all you have to do is know how to direct your consciousness. Okay. And emotion is a big one, you guys. So consciousness is number one. Number two, feeling is the secret. So you cause these emotional states. So, for example, what would I feel like if I was motivated to go do it? And you keep it every day, like I'll do like a meditation, I'll do a heart brain coherence, and then I'll do this exercise where I create these different emotions. And then it kind of carries me throughout the day. I keep doing that. And after a while, after like a month or something, your body starts to get used to it and you believe it. I mean, it's like you don't even have to try. You just have to know how to drive the ship, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put, again, down below the Basics of Manifesting playlist, and then I'll put a link to Friday's video where I dug into how to do that and why it works. And I gave you all these resources. I gave you a link to the heart brain coherence technique that you're going to want to do. Oh man, I got so many goodies on this channel. So that's really all there is to it. You have to be all about the fucking magic and you have to be pragmatic. You got to do both of those things. Again, Hermes called this the divine paradox, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like the half wise realizing the relative unreality of the world may make the mistake of ignoring the practical matters, and they will break their back against the rocks and be torn asunder by it, or something like that. I could go get the book, but it was something like that. He was warning people, like, don't get too idealistic and magically in your thinking. You need to have a lot of that, but you need to be practical too, especially when it comes to health, because your appearance, you have the power to change all of that shit, guys. But again, the problem is people don't get motivated. That's usually what it is. Well, you can cause that emotion. You can cause yourself to get motivated using these law of attraction techniques. I did it. And the thing is, guys, your body, everybody knows, like the body regenerates itself every 7 years. So I don't care how old you are, unless you're like 98 years old. But if you get started and you're consistent for 7 years, you will have a completely new body from the cellular level all the way up. And think about how amazing you're going to feel. Think about you're going to be glowing. You're going to have all this energy and you're going to look fabulous. You're not going to have any problem picking out a new wardrobe either, by the way, especially again, if you're doing this mastery. Now, last thing, I did want to offer up my paid coaching. It's not expensive, it's really comprehensive. It's like 40 plus hours. There's a link down in the description box down below. Go check it out, guys. I've coached thousands of people. And then when you're done watching the video course, we get to talk. All right, guys. See ya.